to relay a message. And you know what is very unique about him? When he relays the messages, he doesn't add in his own opinion. He takes it directly to the source, from the source to the source. And then he sits back and he watches. The ultimate devotee, the one that performs the actions, the one that doesn't speak too much, the one that let the action show. Hinduism promotes action. It's written in the Ramcharitmanas that we have to work, that we have to set about a plan, that we have to ensure that the plan is accomplished. And everything that we do, it must be done for the sake of our Creator. We're part of God's creation. We're not outside of God's creation. We all came from the same origin, and we have the exact same destination. I've said many years ago, no matter how pious we are, no matter how great we think we are, no matter how rich we are, when we die, there's no golden chariot coming down from the heavens to take anybody anywhere. We may think it's going to happen. We've never seen it happen. We've never read about it happening. But in our own minds, we think that it's all about us. And what Hanumanji has set out on his task is to perform the bidding of Bhagwan Sri Ram as the ultimate devotee. You don't think Bhagwan Sri Ram could do his own bidding? You don't think he could go after where Mata Sita was? You don't think he could have prevented her from being abducted by Ravana? You don't think in all of his glories and in his might he wouldn't know where she is? And you think he has to go through with the battle with Kumkaran and all of these individuals to get to her? You think he needs Vibhishan to come and give him all of the information? When he's created Vibhishan himself? When he's the one that has created Ravana himself? When he's the one that has created Mahavir Swami himself? When he's the one that has created this whole world and the oceans and the land and the universe and all of the planetary system and the oxygen and the trees and the fruits and all of that, he has created all of this himself. Just like in any other holy text, we must have someone like Mahavir Swami to inspire us. Because we believe every single day we need to be inspired. Although when we wake up in the morning, the eyes are open and we can breathe, the biological system is functioning, we can move, we check our hands, we check our toes, we open our eyes, we can see, we can speak, we can eat. But because the clouds are slowly passing over the sun, it becomes a gloomy day for us. It's not going to be a nice day today. The cloud is only passing over the sun for a few moments, my friends. You think there's anything that could cover up the sun, where the sun will never shine? When the clouds are passing over the sun, it gives you a moment to ponder. How would I exist in darkness? When the lightning and the thunder are coming on at nighttime or in the daytime, it gives you a moment to ponder about what your plans are. How are you doing? What changes do you have to make in life? But when the clouds are passing over the sun, it doesn't give you a chance to bring yourself down. where you're seeking inspiration, and you are yourself God's inspiration. Look how many things we can do. Look how intelligent we are. We can write books. We can create apps. We can create programs on the internet and the outer net, and every single thing you could think about, we can do it. But then we need this little bit of inspiration, so we dial 1-800-astrologer. What's the guy's name on ZTV? What is his name? Prem Jyotish. When you dial Prem Jyotish and you call him up, he's on every single Indian channel. So you know he has to have money to pay for those advertisements. Okay? The first question he will ask you, do you have a credit card? First question. Not, I haven't called him. I can imagine. Because you're going to have to pay. What's he going to tell you? Bolo Ram, Bolo Ram, Bolo Ram, Bolo Ram. Now who's the first one that told you that? Hanuman, Hanuman, Hanuman. Who needs Prem Jyotish when we have Hanuman Swami? He's already taught us the lesson. If you read Ramcharitmanas, he's spoken out very loud and clear that we must find ourselves at the lotus feet of Bhagwan Ram. You heard of the name Commander, whatever that guy's name that used to be in Atlanta? Something Commander. Dr. Commander. When you give him your credit card number and he says, okay, it's going to be $250. Every time I say, $250 is not a lot of money, I can afford $250. What $250? When Vijay bill comes, now true story, it's not $250 was charged, it's $2,500. All these old people that they went after. Oh, we made a mistake, we added another zero. I was in Arizona, he has a camp in Arizona. After they moved him out, he's in New Jersey, so he moves from state to state to state, and they pray upon the weak-minded. My friends, only when the mind is weak, we look for astrologers. When the mind is awakened and is bright and is energetic, we go to the Vedas and the Puranas and the Shastras and the Ramcharitmanas, and when in doubt, go to the Bhagavad Gita. Open any page and you will be inspired. Inspiration comes from within. When the eyes open, that's the first time we're inspired. We can see the glories of God's creation, which I am a part of. Look how perfect God has made me. I can walk into my bathroom, I can go to my garage, I press a button, the garage door will open, I get into my car, I put on the AC, now it's getting a bit hot, and I could drive to my beautiful job, go up the escalator, go into my nice office, somebody brings me coffee. What else you want? You're going to still be depressed? I don't feel good, I'm kind of depressed. Why are you depressed? Things are not working out very well for me. Why things are not working out well for you? I have bad luck. How do you have bad luck? I don't know. Everything I try to do, it's not working. You have to find yourself at the lotus feet of God. You find yourselves there, everything is going to be clear. God brought us into this world with a clear mind. And He taught us how to start to walk, how to start to think, how to start to make decisions for ourselves. And if we want to be 40 years old and still calling our friends to find out if I should do this or if I should do that, it's like repeating your class when you're going through elementary and high school. See, when you get to the end of the term and your average wasn't that high because you weren't paying attention, then what does the teacher recommend? You have to repeat. That's why you see when we repeat God's name in Sanatana Dharma, it doesn't say Hare Krishna. Okay, Panditji, I'm done. I said my Hare Krishna. It is Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Tulsidas-ji says, I bow to the son of the wind god, the beloved devotee of Bhagwan Ram, the lord of the raghus, the chief of the monkeys, the repository of all virtues, the foremost amongst the wise, a fire to consume the forest of the demon race, possessing a body as a mountain of gold and a home of boundless strength. Tulsidas-ji revered Hanuman Swami as such. Let's take 1 minute, close our eyes, bow our heads, and meditate upon this resplendent form of courage and strength, Hanuman Swami. Jamavant ke bhajan sunai, suni Hanuman hridayati vage, taba lage muhi parik bhai, sahi dukha kauna mula falkari. Jamavant ke bhajan sunai, suni Hanuman hridayati vage, taba lage muhi parik Tonight, very quickly, we're talking about the courage of Hanumanji, the actions that he performed, and the way that he did it. That we must all try to start acting like Hanumanji, based on our intellect, our intelligence, our strength. All of the qualities that God has given us. That as Hanumanji is sitting there listening to the story of the abduction of Mata Sita, and Jamwant is talking about the plan, and Hanumanji is sitting there and he's just listening, and Jamwant say, "Oh Hanumanji, you're the only one that is capable of handling this task. Why aren't you saying anything?" And Hanumanji responded very quickly, and he says, "I was just listening. But everything that I've heard, I think that it can be accomplished." He was delighted at heart to hear the encouraging speech of Jamwant, and he said, "Suffering hardship and living on bugs and roots and fruits, wait for me. I'm going to take care of this, and the task is going to be accomplished." What wonderful words to listen to. Bhagwan Ram have a task at hand. You didn't hear a whole bunch of excuses. Last night I told you we're going to read Sundarkand and see if we could find any excuses that Hanumanji came up with. He says, "Wait for me. I'm going to survive on bugs and roots and fruits, but the task will be accomplished." What cheerful words to hear. And the first thing he did, he touched the mountain that he was sitting on with his hands. He made obeisance to it, and he says, "There can be no rest for me till I have accomplished Bhagwan Ram's work." Where do we find so much time to rest? When there's so little time that is left. Jata pavana sutta devana deka jahi kahu bala buddhi viseka surasa namata inakaya mata pari On his way to Lanka, of course he faced many difficulties. It's like from our origin to our destination, you don't think we're going to you don't think we're going to find ourselves with challenges and with obstacles in our way? Everyone has to go through life as such, my friends. Everyone has to face challenges. Everyone has to face obstacles. Victory lies in the way that we handled it. Surasa, she's the mother of serpents. As he took off, she's the first one that tried to attack him. Her mouth became wider and wider and she wanted to gobble him up. You think he bowed and he prayed to her? We gotta be smart. We have to use our intellect. We gotta use our intelligence. We have to outsmart the enemies. We have to outsmart those that are trying to pull us down. We have to outsmart those that are trying to gobble us up. Finally, she gave up and she said, she offered him her blessings because now she realized that he was on his path to perform Bhagwan Ram's duty. And nothing can stop you when you're doing something with goodness and kindness in your heart. My sister Sita was telling me last time, she believes in one good policy. Honesty is the best policy. You try to trick this one here, you try to trick that one over there, you try to lie to that one over there, you don't think sooner or later, never mind how much you mix that oil in that water, what happens at the end? Within seconds it is right up on the surface. Next thing you know, somebody find out about it. She blessed him, she says, you will accomplish all the work of Bhagwan Rama's storehouse, that you are of strength and intelligence. Having blessed Hanuman, she departed and Hanuman too joyfully resumed his journey. Tahi mari mar sutabira bari dipara gajai matira tahne dipana soba buntan sasi kamadhuva mana parupanga suratuhari kahna vikavindare manabari jai switch on the mind. We have to switch on the intelligence. We have to switch on the intellect. And we have to figure it out for ourselves. On Hanumanji, what do you think he did? You think he was tricked into it? You think his mind was that this guy is stronger than I am? You think he's going to be able to eat him up when he's on this mission to get the job done? One blow to his head and he was dead. Look at the might of Hanumanji. You think he have time to mess around? He's moving along. You think he called back Jamwant and told me, you know what? This journey is too dangerous for me now. I was at attacked twice already. And I'm very smart, so I'm not going to wait for the third time. Because our friends are going to tell us, well, wait a second, man. You get attacked one time, you overcame it. You get attacked the second time, you overcame it. You want to tell me you're going for the third time? Something wrong with you up here. Why you keep on going? He had two excuses. He could call back by going around and say, you know what? You're the Almighty. You're the Creator. You sent me out on this journey and I'm being attacked. You have a plan B in mind? He could have said that. Many of us say that. I was coming to Mandir tonight, but you know the place gets so hot now I can't deal with it. It happens. He continued. You know why he continued? Because he's mighty, he's intelligent, he is learned, he is a might of strength. He's a fire to consume the demon race. A body shining like gold. And guess what is very important that we have to learn from him? He has zero excuses. Zero. Did he tell Bhagwan Ram, well, you know, my parents are getting old now. I have to stay home just in case anything happens. That's a valid excuse. But what did he do? Masaka samana rupa kahi jari lankai chalu sunidu narahari He's arrived in Lanka and he created himself in the tiniest form as a gnat. And Lankini is the one that guards over Lanka. And she recognized him as he's trying to go into the city of Lanka. And she said, hey, hold up for a minute. Where do you think you're going? And very quickly, what did Hanumanji did? You think he supplicated to her and he bowed to her feet? You think, hold a second, let me send a message back to the home base. This is the third time this has happened to me, and I think the situation is getting very dangerous now. Right? How many of us would have turned back by now? This is the third challenge he faced. And Lankini is a massive person, a Rakshas. But quickly he became the might of strength, and what did he do to her? One blow to the head and she fell down. I must have earned very great merits, dear Hanuman, that I have been blessed with the sight of Sri Ram's own messenger. He's moving on now very quickly. There's a lot more to talk about, but I want you to see a few of the challenges he faced. And challenge after challenge after challenge, right? 3-4 challenges. We talked about what came next. When we think the world is so dark, and we have one challenge after the other, and we blame it on bad luck. What comes next? With perseverance, with God's beauty shining in our hearts, every single day when the eyes open, we can see it and we can be blessed by that. This is what happened next. Rama Rama Tahi Sumiran Kina Hirdaya Harsakati Sajana China Hari Sarvatika He ran into Ravana, who was fast asleep. But this Chaupai says he heard the chanting of Bhagwan Ram's name and he ran into Vibhishana. What a glorious sound to his ears when he met Vibhishana and he heard him repeating the name of Ram. You see how quickly the dark cloud has moved away from Lankini and all of the serpents and everybody else was trying to get to him. Now he's met one of his own. And after that, Vibhishana showed him the path to where Sita was. Very quickly, once he figured out this was a messenger of Bhagwan Ram, he provided all of the information for Hanumanji to find Sita. And when he found her, he witnessed the conversation between her and Ravana. By the time he got up to where Sita was, Ravana was awake. He made his way to where Sita was. And he was trying to convince her that if she was to become one with him, he will make his own wife, Mandodari, her handmaid. How quickly we're ready to trade. How quickly we're ready to gamble. How quickly we're ready to put on the line everything that we've worked for and everything that we were blessed with because we think the grass is greener on the other side. Ask yourself the question, what would be your answer? And what did Sita do very quickly? She had no weapons to defend herself. She picked up a blade of grass and she said that if you think The light from, if you think the light from a glowworm will brighten up a lotus flower and expect it to bloom, something is seriously wrong with you. Haven't we experienced these things in our own lives? Where we think that we're mightier than thou, where there's an easy way out, where nothing comes by hard work. We can go out there and be convinced because of someone else's story that we can make it. Hanumanji listened to the story, and after Ravana left, he dropped that ring right in front of Sita. Tabadeki mudrika manuhara Ramana Anitati Sundara She said immediately that this cannot be a trick, because no one can conquer the invincible Lord of the rebel race. Nobody will be able to trick her with this ring, because she felt through her own intuition that this is a sign from Bhagwan Ram. And she started to praise him. And this concludes the plan that Hanumanji had to meet Mata Sita. He accomplished that plan. He could have brought her back home. He could have taken care of everything that had to be taken care of. But what did he do at the end? He delivered the message in its entirety to Ma Sita. He didn't add his own thoughts. He didn't add his own recommendations. He didn't add his philosophy. He didn't say, well, I think about this, but this is exactly what's going on. I'm not really sure if the plan is going to work. It looks like kind of iffy. I don't know if Bhagwan Ram is going to be able to mobilize everybody to come, but I'm here because I'm mighty and I'm going to sing my own praises. I got the job done. Nobody else was able to come and find you, but I did it. And oh, by the way, you wouldn't believe how tough the journey was. You wouldn't believe how many hours I had to stay up every night. You wouldn't believe how much I didn't eat. You wouldn't believe how many people attacked me. You wouldn't believe how I suffered. You wouldn't believe how the pressure on the wind was so much, the heat from the sun was so much. In the darkness, I couldn't even see. You know, he didn't say all of that, right? That's what we say. You know how many jobs I have? You know how many hours I have to work? You know how much housework I have? You want me to know that? You work 5 jobs and you collect the paycheck, you don't count with it, you don't give it to me. God bless you. Because of God's blessings, we have a job. Figure that out. And say thanks. Don't sing your own glories. Hanumanji, look at his example. He didn't relay none of this to her. What did he relay to her? The message. He said, Bhagwan Ram wants you to hear this message. How many messages you hear out there? You know, Pandit Nar wants you to hear this, but I don't really know if I believe in what he says. When he says something, he does something else. Right? We criticize everybody. Even Obama got so much criticism. Mahatma Gandhi was criticized. Martin Luther King was criticized. All the Swamis was criticized. He didn't criticize Bhagwan Ram. Can we learn a lesson from him? Everybody clap if you could learn a lesson. You have to do a much better job than that. I already told you what he went through, and you're going to give him that small round of applause. Come on. Friends of Hanuman Swami. This is the message he delivered, my friend. He says, Bhagwan Sri Ram said, ever since I've been separated from you, Sita, to me everything has become dark. The fresh and the tender leaves on the trees look like tongues of fire. Nights appear as dreadful as the night of final dissolution, and the moon scorches like the sun. Beds of lotuses are like so many spears planted on the ground, while the rain clouds pour boiling oil, as it were. Those who were friendly earlier now have become tormenting. The cool, soft, fragrant breezes are now like the breath of a serpent. One's agony is assuaged to some extent even by speaking of it, but to whom shall I speak about it? For there is no one who will understand my true feeling and my love for you, and the pains that this separation has caused. So the message was clear, precise, concise. He didn't add any fluff into the message. And the message that was delivered by Hanumanji did not consist of any blame. Bhagwan Ram didn't send a message blaming her for what happened. He sent a message for the love that he has for her and what his feelings of separation has done to him. Let's clap for him. Sundarakand Ramcharitmanas. No excuses. He overcame all the challenges. He got the job done and he delivered the message. What a great lesson that we can learn from Hanumanji. That we must work together as a country, as a world. We ourselves, one little person like us, yes, if we put our heads together, we can make a massive impact in this world. But how stronger we become when we all work together. When we can put our resources together. When we can put our minds together and put our egos behind. One very important thing I talked about yesterday to someone privately. That's how wonderful it is that the Shiva Mandir has come together with the Vishnu Hanuman. And how do people feel when they go to bed that they've divided this community? How do people feel at the end of their lives that they didn't bring people together? I don't want to be in that position. I'm reading the scriptural text. We all have to follow the message from Hanumanji.